Hey guys, this is Jacolia of Jacolia Gems. Thank you for once again coming back to view my channel. If you are new here, welcome. If you are returning, hey y'all. So if you have not already done so, what are you waiting on? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Thank you to those of you who have subscribed and those of you who continuously come back. There are a lot of you who have been engaging with me hour upon hour in my YouTube shorts. So I am very appreciative of that. And hopefully some of these teaching videos and conversational videos can pick up more as well. Thank you to those of you who I run into in person, who tell me that you are viewing my YouTube page. There are some of you who consistently send me content like, T, react to this. The videos are coming. They're coming. With that being said, today's video, like all the others, is sponsored by my small business for now, Harvest Essence. This is one of my top selling products, literally probably top two, top three selling products. This is my yoni oil. Harvest Essence has not only yoni oil, I have body oil, beard oil, as well as massage oils. I have herbal teas of many kind. So far I'm working with hibiscus, lavender, calendula, chamomile, roses, nettle, raspberry leaf, dandelion leaf, eucalyptus, elderberry, fenugreek, goji berries, in Kenya, I can't pronounce that word correct. Those are all the herbs. Well, no. Rose, thyme, oregano, tarragon, and I use some salts and some oils as well, and essential oils. And so I also have foaming bath salts, some foot detox, some amazing herbal baths. I also have anti-yeast oil and anti-BV oil. But this yoni oil has gotten me so many raving reviews to the point that one time I was out and I was at a lounge, and one of my girls, she got a package for me, and she loved the hibiscus tea, loved the sweet rose bath. But this yoni oil, baby, she gave us a review while we were engaging in a conversation with the owner of the club. So I'll just say that this, yeah, place the order today. You can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Tierra, TIERRA underscore holiday to place the order, or you can email me at that same name at yahoo.com. Now let's get into this video. I'm not going to be very long. Now, of course, there's always some addendums and some asterisks to what it is that I am saying. This is not a one fits all, every man, every woman, blase, whoopee school. Going on average based off of some scenarios that I have seen. I have to make that plain because a lot of adults, sad to say, over the age of 30 lack the cognitive ability to begin to ascertain what it is that I be talking about. And I feel as if I'm very straight to the point and I'm very blunt, and it just be very confusing no matter how patient I am or how many times I thoroughly explain myself before speaking. I just have to accept the fact that not all people are communicators, not all people come to learn, not all people come to teach, not all people come to have an even exchange, not all people are here to grow. Some people walk around with the spirit of offense and want to poke holes in everything. With that being said, thank you. You are helping the algorithm. Speaking of algorithm, hit the like button. So let's get into it. The reason why I'm under the belief that some men have higher standards than women is just based off the way that women view other women. The way that women view other women is from the most hypocritical seat of piety that I have ever seen in my life. I have never seen more hoes call another woman a hoe in my life. And now I know some of y'all like, well, you just called other women hoe. I did. This is the example that I'm talking about. The woman that decides to sit back and talk under the skirt of another woman, but then guess why that woman has so much male attention. And a woman will deduce another woman based upon her sexual organs, but yet she does not want to be held to that same standard. I believe that this is a great form of mental illness. You have women out here whom have had abortions in high school, whom have been sleeping with men 10 to 20 years older than them since high school. That's problematic. That's predatory. That's another topic. You have women whom have been passed around friend groups. You have women whom have had orgies, who sit back and talk about other women for doing the same, and a lot of times less than what they have done. You have women whom have slept with people's boyfriends. And I want to tell you, even if you have not slept with someone's boyfriend, if you flirted, if you've inserted yourself in an emotional way, if you allowed this man to be, if you allowed yourself to turn into a shoulder to cry on, if you drop your handkerchief in a subtle way, if you hold a conversation, if you say something slick, say something smart, there's really a fine line between you and the woman that just decides to say, "Who's that yonder?" Okay? Desperation is desperation. Low level thinking and low level functioning, it still leads to the same place. Some of us just get there sooner. There are a lot of women who consistently pocket watch other women and feel as if they are only able to attract men based off of their physicality, based off of what it is that they're able to do in the bedroom. And these are the same women that will line themselves up in competition for the women that they speak against. These are the same women that will wait around for the man that the lowly woman, so to speak, has the attention of. So maybe this woman isn't everything that you say, but she's everything that you aren't. Okay, so let's get to it. I just described two type of women of experience, and you have one that's hypocritical, one that's denying, one that's self-loathing and never owns up to and say, "Ooh, look at her, look at what she's doing, look at how she is always assuming the worst about another woman." This is the type of woman that creates a coven of witches in her friend group to gossip about another woman. You know, the type of women that have group chats, the type of women that have a lot of screenshots and a lot of voice recordings, the type of women that download text apps and begin to text other women, the type of women that wait around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years for a man that another woman has, the type of woman that'll down another woman for her sins, but then will sleep her way into marriages. But we say and we feel as if women have the high standards. So let's get to the men, okay? Because it's confusion when a man will wife or take serious a woman that other women deem all of these things that I just said, right? And if her exes come back, then it all of a sudden always has to do with her physical nature. But you're a woman and you say that you provide more than physicality. But this woman can't possibly provide more than that. See, a lot of women that view other women in jaundiced eye sets were actually never the first or second choice in reality. And the reason being is because a lot of men, a mature man, a man that's sure about himself and what he wants, regardless of anything. My homie Ted last night said on his live, he said, men look at women as flowers, regardless of what she did before him. That's his flower. And once he has this flower, he doesn't want anyone else plucking or touching his flower. Forget all of that. Now, some men are like, no, man, body counts, whatever, all of this. Everybody has their preference. Some men don't care. And a lot of women wonder why women can grab some man if she moves like X, Y, and Z, even though they've moved the same way. And so it's a lot of hypocrisy between Black women that creates competition. But the woman that moves in a way, whether she's a virgin, whether she's celibate, whether she's a woman of experience, but if she's a woman that's mature, if she's a woman that's aware of her wrongdoings, if she's a woman that knows how to apologize, if she's a woman that's accountable, if she's a woman that listens, that's going to automatically outweigh a woman that nitpicks, a woman that's gossipy, a woman that holds grudges, a woman that's loud, a woman that's prideful, a woman that's boastful, a woman that's surrounded by other bitter women. See, a man will see a woman, and then like a lot of women are like, well, how can she pull him, and she a bum, she this and she that. But if y'all was really listening to the Black man's current messiah, Kevin Samuels, y'all would realize that on average, a lot of men, they love your intellect, they love that you went to school, they love that you're ambitious, they love that you're an entrepreneur. They like, oh, look at her. She's a capable adult. But they do not want to hear about that. And when I, as a Black woman, say that, it becomes problematic, but I'm just echoing the voice of the Black men that y'all say that y'all love. So it's a hearing problem. And this is why Kevin Samuels and other men say that they would rather have a woman that works at McDonald's or works in retail or maybe fell on hard times or, makes the average of $35,000 a year or whatever have you, versus, now this is not all men, not all women, versus a woman who's already firmly established, because now she thinks that her degrees and her money now qualifies her for a man, that her attitude and her piss poor behavior and her lack of cooperation automatically disqualifies her for. But because a woman that is of greater experience or even lesser experience, or a woman that does not have herself all the way together, can begin to fish and swim in oceans and lakes that you are not used to. Don't go chasing them waterfalls. And this is why hypergamy is not for everybody. And I'm going to talk about that. But men are potters. So they will look at that woman and they will see, oh, this is something to work with. I can take her and I could put her on a wheel, not to mold her for manipulation. I'm going to use an example. My mother and my father. I'm shaped just like my mother, hourglass shape. My mother's waist was like 22 inches when they got married. She had an eating disorder. She wrote about this. I actually came across one of her memories on Facebook the other day. And she was 97 pounds soaking wet when they got married. And my daddy said some people be looking like, man, Robert, what you doing with her? He like, all right. He thinking her up. He took what was there. This woman made him chase her. This woman was a genius. She did a double in grammar school, was the first in her grammar school to go to Whitney Young, which was the number one school in Chicago at that time. This woman was the first from Whitney Young to be placed in the all-city high school chorus that went on tour and sang in halls with orchestras. This woman was not chasing up behind him. She made him run, but as a man, he saw something and he built. And they built a marriage and they built a household for 36 years of holy matrimony before the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, parents of 3 daughters and 3 grandchildren. Because this was a man who saw something men can see. So a lot of time, if a man cannot get over a woman, of course, it can be obvious. If it's physical, lustful, some women be out here putting juniper roots on men and can just, operate at a high functioning level that 90% of women can't touch. However, more times than not, this woman has operated on a level intellectually and spiritually and emotionally that 90% of women can't touch. And these are your unicorns. See, men will identify a woman not even all the time based on how she looks. Because you have some men who are highly attractive, and when I say highly attractive, I'm talking 7.5 and above, that are highly attractive. Some men that are attractive, that's gonna leave you in the like 6 to 7 range, that will be with a woman that's between, and I'm just using the scale because this is how y'all like to talk, that he will be with a woman that's between a 5 and a 6.5. And women that are attractive and highly attractive or drop dead gorgeous will look and turn their nose up like, or if a man cheats on a woman with a woman that doesn't look as good as her, or if he goes and be with a woman that doesn't look as good as her, that woman is automatically less than her and automatically a downgrade. This is how shallow women are. We have to admit how shallow we can be and realize that some of us that have men and we've held on to them with all of that bitterness and all of that interrupting and all of that disrespect, we have to realize that that's why a lot of our men overwork. That's why a lot of our men are always traveling. That's why a lot of our men are dipping and slipping and sliding and always with one foot in and one foot out. Some men marry women that don't provide them peace because they provide them convenience to do as thou will. And that's the Luciferian doctrine. Some men will lose their dream girls because she's not going to put up with X, Y, and Z. And so this is another reason why some men hold on to women, because they lost the one that they really wanted and they settled. It'll behoove us as women, if we have some real conversations with some men around us, that's just going to keep it gutter with us. It's going to keep it greasy and let us know you ain't all that you think you are. If you can't say you're bad, it's terrible. If you can't say that you have regrets, if you can't admit that you've been walking around bitter and holding grudges and casting assertions against other women, if you can't admit that you've played the witch. See, when we put our mouths on other women, we are acting as witches. And when we form, and I'm going to say this a lot, and when we form friend groups and friend circles, whether it's 1 or 2, whether it's 2 or 3, because the word says where 2 or 3 are gathered, that the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob is already in the midst. So it's just the power of agreement. If y'all watch Charmed, their powers worked individually. They worked better when there were 2. But it was something about the power of 3. When you guys begin to gossip and play telephone, men pick up on this, but so does the spirit realm. So if that woman is struggling in her health and in her finances and in her relationships and all of these things, a lot of times it's because of what other women have spoken. But women, just remember that no weapon formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue that wags in judgment shall be condemned. So when we think more as wisdom personified, we're going to want to link up with men that can teach us how to stop being so shallow. So with that being said, that's it. That's all. The girls that get it, get it. And thanks for the men that have had these conversations with me. And also thank you to the high value black man. You know who you are. I asked you a question. I said, how come some men marry what looks good on paper versus what they really want? And then that's why they end up habitually cheating on some other women that they marry. That's why they end up hopping around to different women. And he said, because as men, a lot of times we are taught to marry for stability versus what pleases us and building something stable. And some men are afraid of how another man will view them or how people will view them based off of who they really want. So, with that being said, this is Jacolia of Jacolia Gems. Thank you for watching my video. Do me a favor if you have not already done so, hit the subscribe button, turn on the post notifications. If you feel so inclined, donate to the platform. It's right here. Thank you to those of you who have. I got blessed with a camera as well as a tripod. So like this video, comment, share, subscribe, and I will talk to you guys soon.